The alarm bells rang through the USS Horizon like angry wasps. Captain Lisa Martinez sat up in her chair on the bridge, her coffee cup forgotten as red lights flashed around her. The year was 2387, and humanity had spread across many star systems, but they still rarely met other intelligent alien races. "Captain, we're getting a distress signal," said Lieutenant Ben Cooper from his station. His young face looked worried as he stared at the glowing screens in front of him. "It's coming from the edge of the galaxy, in a system we've never mapped before." Lisa walked over to Ben's station and looked at the strange patterns on his screen. The signal was unlike anything they had seen before. It wasn't the usual human emergency code, but it clearly showed that someone was in trouble. "How far away is it?" Lisa asked. "About 6 hours at full speed, Captain," Ben replied. "But the Colonial Defense Force warned us about going to unknown systems. They said there might be hostile aliens out there." Lisa thought for a moment. The USS Horizon was an exploration ship, not a warship. They had a crew of 200 people, including scientists, engineers, and a small group of Marines for protection. Going into unknown space was always dangerous, but ignoring a distress call went against everything she believed in. "Set course. For the signal," Lisa ordered. "Someone needs help, and that's what we're here for." The ship's engines hummed louder as they changed direction toward the mysterious signal. Lisa called her senior officers to the bridge. Commander Jake Sullivan arrived first. He was a tall man with gray hair who had been in space for 20 years. Behind him came Dr. Amanda Foster, the ship's expert on alien life, and Marine Sergeant Danny Rodriguez, who was in charge of the ship's security. "We're heading into unknown territory," Lisa told them. "I want everyone ready for anything. Jake, prepare a boarding party. Amanda, get your equipment ready to study any alien technology we might find. Danny, make sure your Marines are armed and ready." The trip to the unknown system took 6 hours. When they arrived, what they saw made everyone on the bridge gasp. Floating in the darkness of space was a massive alien ship, bigger than anything humans had ever built. It was not moving, and no lights showed on its surface. The alien ship looked like nothing from human designs. Its surface was smooth and curved, like a living thing. But parts of it seemed to be made of crystal that caught the light from the nearby star. Strange patterns covered its hull, and even though it appeared dead, something about it seemed almost alive. "Life signs?" Lisa asked. Ben checked his instruments carefully. "I'm reading one life form, Captain. It's in what looks like the center of the ship. The signal is very weak." "Any weapons active on that ship?" "No, Captain. It looks completely dead except for that one life sign." Lisa made her decision. "Jake, take a boarding party over there. Bring Danny and some Marines for protection. And take Amanda to study anything you find. Be careful. We don't know what happened to that ship or who built it." Commander Sullivan nodded and left to prepare his team. An hour later, Sullivan, Rodriguez, Dr. Foster, and 4 Marines were flying across space in a small shuttle toward the alien ship. As they got closer, they could see damage on the ship's hull. Burn marks and holes showed that it had been in a terrible battle. They found a docking port that seemed to fit their shuttle. When they connected, the alien ship's airlock opened automatically. The air inside was safe to breathe, but it smelled strange, like metal and something they couldn't identify. "Stay close together," Sullivan ordered as they entered the alien ship. Their flashlights cut through the darkness, showing corridors that were much bigger than those on human ships. The walls were covered with the same crystal patterns they had seen outside, and some of them still glowed with a faint light. As they walked deeper into the ship, they found signs of the battle that had damaged it. Strange liquid that glowed green had splashed on the walls. Pieces of broken equipment lay scattered on the floor. Whatever had happened here, it had been violent and recent. "The life sign is coming from up ahead," Dr. Foster said, checking her scanner. "It's in what looks like the command center of the ship." They reached a large room filled with strange controls and screens. Most of the equipment was dark and broken, but some pieces still flickered with alien symbols. In the center of the room, they found something that made them all stop and stare. A huge alien creature sat slumped against a wall. It was at least 9 feet tall, with 4 arms and skin that looked like armor plating. Its head was large, with compound eyes like an insect, but much bigger. Around the alien lay the bodies of others like it, all clearly dead. The living alien looked up when their lights hit it. Its compound eyes reflected the light like mirrors, and it made a sound that might have been words in a language they didn't understand. Blood that glowed the same green as the stains on the walls covered wounds on its body. "It's hurt but alive," Dr. Foster whispered. "I've never seen anything like it." The alien tried to stand but fell back down. It looked at the humans with what seemed like a mixture of pain and curiosity. Despite its frightening size, something in its posture suggested it was not trying to threaten them. "We need to get it back to the ship," Sullivan said. "It might be the only survivor who can tell us what happened here." Dr. Foster approached the alien slowly, her hands visible and empty. The creature watched her but didn't try to attack. When she knelt down beside it, the alien made the same sound again, softer this time. "I think it's trying to communicate," she said. "We need to help it." Getting the huge alien back to the USS Horizon was not easy. The creature was too big and heavy for the shuttle's normal medical equipment. Sergeant Rodriguez and his Marines had to use cargo straps and extra padding to secure the wounded alien for the trip back to their ship. During the short flight, the alien drifted in and out of consciousness. When it was awake, it would look around with its large compound eyes and make sounds in its strange language. Dr. Foster recorded everything, hoping to understand what it was trying to say. "Its heart rate is very fast," Dr. Foster reported to Captain Martinez over the radio. "I think it's scared as well as hurt. We're probably the first humans it has ever seen." When they reached the USS Horizon, Captain Martinez had the medical bay cleared and extra security posted outside. The alien was too big for a normal hospital bed, so they placed it on the floor of the largest medical room. Dr. Foster worked quickly to treat its wounds while the creature watched her with those strange, mirror-like eyes. The alien had deep cuts across its chest and arms. The green blood that came from its wounds glowed softly in the medical bay's lights. Dr. Foster had never seen anything like it, but she did her best to clean and bandage the injuries. "Its body temperature is higher than ours," she told Captain Martinez. "And its blood carries oxygen differently than human blood. But the wounds are healing faster than they should be. This species must have very strong healing abilities." While Dr. Foster worked, the ship's computer tried to understand the alien's language. Every time the creature made sounds, the computer recorded them and looked for patterns. But the language was unlike anything in human databases. It had tones and vibrations that human throats could not make. The alien seemed to understand that the humans were trying to help it. When Dr. Foster approached with medical tools, it would hold still and let her work. Sometimes it would point to its wounds and make soft sounds, as if trying to explain what had happened. Commander Sullivan posted guards outside the medical bay at all times. "We don't know anything about this creature," he told Captain Martinez. "It might be peaceful now, but we can't take chances with the safety of the crew." On the second day after bringing the alien aboard, something unexpected happened. Private Leo Barnes, a young Marine from Texas, was on guard duty outside the medical bay. Leo was only 22 years old and had joined the Space Marines to see the galaxy. He had grown up on a ranch and was used to working with large, sometimes dangerous animals. During his shift, Leo heard the alien making sounds from inside the medical bay. The sounds were different from the ones it made when Dr. Foster was treating. These sounds seemed sad and lonely. Leo looked through the window and saw the alien sitting up, looking at the walls around it. Leo understood that feeling. He had been lonely too when he first left Earth. Being far from home and surrounded by strangers was hard, even when those strangers were trying to help. Against regulations, Leo opened the door to the medical bay and stepped inside. The alien turned its large head toward him, and Leo could see his own reflection in its compound eyes. For a moment, they just looked at each other. "Hey there, big guy," Leo said softly, the way he used to talk to nervous horses back home. "I know you can't understand me, but you look like you could use some company." The alien tilted its head as if it was curious about Leo's voice. Leo sat down on the floor a few feet away from the creature, making sure not to get too close too quickly. My name is Leo, he said, pointing to himself. Leo, I'm from Earth, which is a planet far from here. We found you on that ship, and Dr. Foster has been fixing you up. The alien made a low sound that was different from the others Leo had heard. This sound was softer, less frightened. Over the next few days, Leo began visiting the alien during his off-duty hours. He would sit in the medical bay and talk about his life on Earth, his family's ranch, and the animals he had cared for. The alien would listen, its head turning to follow Leo's voice. Leo started bringing his meals to the medical bay. He would eat his food while sitting near the alien, and sometimes he would offer small pieces to the creature. The alien was careful, at first, but eventually it began accepting food from Leo's hand. Dr. Foster watched these interactions with growing interest. The alien is responding to Leo differently than it responds to the rest of us, she told Captain Martinez. Its stress levels go down when Leo is in the room. I think it's starting to trust him. The breakthrough came on the 5th day. Leo was eating lunch in the medical bay when the alien pointed to itself and made a sound that was clearly different from its other vocalizations. The sound had rhythm and purpose. I think it's telling me its name, Leo said excitedly. He tried to repeat the sound, but his human throat could not make the exact tones. The alien made the sound again, slower this time. Leo tried again, and while his version was not perfect, the alien seemed to understand. It made what Leo thought might be a pleased sound, then pointed at Leo and made a questioning noise. Leo said, pointing to himself. My name is Leo. The alien tried to say Leo, but the sound came out as something like Lee-O, with extra vibrations. It was close enough that Leo smiled and nodded. Dr. Foster was amazed by what she was seeing. Leo, I think you're making real contact with it. This could be the beginning of actual communication between our species. But not everyone was happy about Leo's friendship with the alien. Commander Sullivan was worried about security, and messages from the Colonial Defense Force were becoming more urgent. They wanted the alien transferred to Earth for study and interrogation. We don't know anything about this creature's species, Sullivan argued. For all we know, that ship was damaged in an attack on human colonies. We could be harboring an enemy. Dr. Foster disagreed. Look at how it responds to kindness. This isn't the behavior of a hostile species. I think we're looking at a potential first contact situation, and Leo might be the key to successful communication. Captain Martinez found herself caught between competing demands. The Colonial Defense Force wanted the alien, her security officer wanted it contained, and her science officer wanted to study it. But she could see that Leo was making progress that none of the others had achieved. The young Marine's natural empathy was building a bridge between two species that had never met before. As the days passed, Leo and the alien continued to develop their unusual friendship. The alien's wounds healed quickly, and it began moving around the medical bay more freely. It was clear that the creature was intelligent and peaceful, but many questions remained unanswered. What species was it? Where did it come from? And what had happened to its ship and crew? 2 weeks had passed since they found the alien on the damaged ship. The creature was much stronger now, and Dr. Foster had managed to build a basic translation device using the ship's computer. It was not perfect, but it could turn some of the alien's words into English that humans could understand. The first real conversation changed everything. Leo was sitting in the medical bay with the alien when Dr. Foster brought in the new translation device. It looked like a small box with speakers and lights. When the alien spoke, the box would make beeping sounds and then speak words in English. My name is HFY, the alien said through the translator. Its voice sounded strange through the machine, but the words were clear. I am a warrior of the Zethkari people. Leo smiled and pointed to himself. I'm Leo Barnes. I'm a Marine, which is like a warrior for humans. HFY's compound eyes seemed to focus on Leo more intently. You are small for a warrior, the translator said, making HFY's words sound flat and emotionless. Yeah, I get that a lot, Leo laughed. But sometimes being small helps. I can go places bigger warriors can't. Dr. Foster leaned forward with her notebook ready. HFY, can you tell us what happened to your ship? Who attacked you? Keithavar's whole body seemed to tense up. Through the translator, his voice became darker. The Devourers came. They are not alive like us. They are machines that eat everything living. They destroyed my ship, killed my crew, killed my bonded partner. Bonded partner? Dr. Foster asked, and what does that mean? Keithavar looked at Leo, then at Dr. Foster. Among my people, warriors bond with others. We share our minds, our strength, our lives. A bonded pair fights as one being. When one dies, the other feels great pain. Leo felt sorry for the big alien. He could hear the sadness in Keithavar's words even through the translation machine. I'm sorry about your partner, Leo said. That must hurt a lot. Yes, Keithavar replied. I am alone now. My people are dying. The Devourers move toward your space too. They will consume everything in their path. Dr. Foster stopped writing and looked up quickly. Our space? You mean they're coming toward human colonies? Yes. The Devourers learn from each battle. They become stronger. My people fought them for many cycles, but we could not stop them. I was sent to find allies, but I never expected to find your kind. Captain Martinez had been listening from the doorway. She stepped into the room with a worried expression. How long do we have? When will these Devourers reach human space? Keithavar made a sound that the translator could not convert to words. He held up his 4 arms and showed different numbers of fingers. Dr. Foster worked with him to figure out the time measurement. Maybe 2 of your years, Keithavar finally said. But they move faster as they grow stronger. Each world they consume gives them more resources, more knowledge. The news was terrible. Captain Martinez immediately sent messages to the Colonial Defense Force, but their response was not what she expected. Instead of preparing for the threat, they demanded that Keithavar be brought to Earth immediately for questioning and study. Commander. Sullivan agreed with the Colonial Defense Force. We need to learn everything this alien knows about these Devourers, he told Captain Martinez. Earth's military scientists can get information from it that we can't. But Dr. Foster had been studying Keithavar's behavior and his people's culture. Through their conversations, she had learned something important that she shared with Captain Martinez in private. The Zethkari bonding process is more than just friendship, Dr. Foster explained. It's a biological and mental connection that makes both partners stronger. Keithavar has been trying to explain it to me, but the translator can't handle the complex concepts. What exactly are you saying? Captain Martinez asked. I think Keithavar wants to form a bond with Leo. I've been watching them together, and there are signs that their minds are already connecting in small ways. Leo seems to understand Keithavar's moods without the translator, and Keithavar becomes calmer when Leo is near. Captain Martinez thought about this. Is it possible for a human to form this kind of bond with an alien? I don't know, Dr. Foster admitted. It's never been tried, but if it works, we might learn more about fighting the Devourers than any interrogation could teach us. Meanwhile, Leo continued spending time with Keithavar. The alien had begun teaching Leo some words in the Zethkari language, and Leo was teaching Keithavar more about humans. They discovered that both species valued loyalty, courage, and protecting others. One evening, Keithavar asked Leo a question that surprised him. Your people, do they bond with others for life? Some do, Leo said. We call it marriage. 2 people promise to stay together and take care of each other. This is good, Keithavar said. But Zethkari bonding is different. It joins minds and souls. Bonded partners share strength and knowledge. They become more than they were alone. Leo was quiet for a moment. Is that what you want? To bond with me? Keithavar's compound eyes reflected the medical bay's lights. You showed kindness when others showed fear. You treated me as a person, not a thing to study. Yes, I wish to bond with you, if you are willing. Before Leo could answer, alarms began ringing throughout the ship. Captain Martinez's voice came over the speakers. All hands to battle stations. We have incoming ships. Colonial Defense Force Admiral Patricia Wells is here with a full escort. Through the medical bay's window, Leo could see military ships surrounding the USS Horizon. These were not exploration vessels like his ship. These were warships with heavy weapons and armor. Commander Sullivan burst into the medical bay with armed Marines. "Orders from Admiral Wells," he announced. "The alien is to be transferred to the military ships immediately. Leo, you're confined to quarters pending investigation for unauthorized contact with the prisoner." "Prisoner?" Leo stood up angrily. "Kethvar isn't a prisoner, he's a refugee who came to us for help." "That's not your decision to make, Private," Sullivan replied coldly. Kethvar rose to his full 9-foot height. Even though he was still recovering, from his injuries he looked impressive and dangerous. "I will not go with them," he said through the translator. "I choose to stay with Leo." The Marines raised their weapons, but Leo stepped between them and Kethvar. "Wait, there has to be another way." Dr. Foster looked at Captain Martinez, who had also entered the medical bay. "Captain, if we let them take Kethvar, we might lose our only chance to understand how to fight the Devourers. The bonding process could give us information that interrogation never could." Captain Martinez faced the most difficult decision of her career. She could follow orders and hand Kethvar over to the military, or she could trust her science officer and allow an unprecedented experiment that might help save humanity from the approaching machine threat. Outside, Admiral Wells was waiting for an answer, and her patience was running out. Captain Martinez stood in her ready room with Admiral Patricia Wells. The Admiral was a stern woman with gray hair and cold blue eyes. She had been in the military for 30 years and did not like when people questioned her orders. "Captain, you will transfer the alien to my ship immediately," Admiral Wells said firmly. "This creature is too dangerous to remain on an exploration vessel. My scientists on Earth need to study it." "Admiral, with respect, I think you're making a mistake," Captain Martinez replied. "Dr. Foster believes the alien and Private Barnes might be able to form some kind of mental connection. This could give us better information about the threat we're facing." Admiral Wells slammed her hand on the table. "I don't care about theories and experiments, I care about facts. That alien's people were defeated by these Devourers. What makes you think one human soldier can do better?" Meanwhile, in the medical bay, Leo and Kethvar were talking quietly. Dr. Foster had left them alone, but she was monitoring their conversation through the ship's cameras. "They want to take you away," Leo said. "I don't think they'll hurt you, but they'll ask a lot of questions and run tests." Kethvar made a sound that the translator turned into a sigh. "Your military leaders do not understand. Questions and tests cannot prepare you for the Devourers. Only bonded warriors have ever survived fighting them for long." "Tell me about the bonding," Leo said. "What exactly happens?" Kethvar was quiet for a moment, then began to explain. "Two minds become one. We share thoughts, feelings, memories. Your strength becomes my strength, my knowledge becomes your knowledge. But it is dangerous. Sometimes one mind destroys the other. Sometimes both die." Leo felt scared but also excited. "Has your people ever bonded with aliens before?" "Never. You would be the first. I would be the first. We do not know what will happen." Dr. Foster had been listening and recording everything. She understood that this was bigger than just friendship between Leo and Kethvar. This could be the beginning of a new kind of partnership between humans and aliens. She went to find Captain Martinez, who was still arguing with Admiral Wells. "Captain, I need to speak with you privately," Dr. Foster said. Admiral Wells looked annoyed. "Doctor, whatever you have to say can be said in front of me." "Actually, it can't," Dr. Foster replied bravely. "This is a medical matter concerning my patient." Captain Martinez nodded to Admiral Wells. "Give us 5 minutes, Admiral." When they were alone, Dr. Foster spoke quickly. "Captain, I've been studying the bonding process that Kethvar described. I think it might actually work with humans. Our brain structures are different from the Zethkari, but there are similarities in how we process emotions and memories. What are you suggesting?" "Let Leo try to bond with Kethvar. If it works, we'll learn more about fighting the Devourers than any interrogation could teach us. If it doesn't work, we haven't lost anything." Captain Martinez looked tired. "And if it kills them both?" "Then we'll have tried something brave instead of just following safe orders." That night, Captain Martinez made her decision. She ordered her crew to shut down the ship's communication systems, claiming there was a technical problem. This would buy them time without Admiral Wells knowing what they were planning. Dr. Foster prepared the medical bay for the bonding attempt. She had studied everything Kethvar had told them about the process. The two participants needed to be connected by special equipment while their minds were in a relaxed state. "Are you sure about this?" Dr. Foster asked Leo. "We don't know what will happen. This could kill you." Leo looked at Kethvar, who was sitting quietly nearby. "I've been thinking about it all day. If these devourers are really coming for us, we need every advantage we can get. Besides, Kethvar is my friend. I trust him." Kethvar stood up and placed one of his 4 hands on Leo's shoulder. "I will protect your mind as you protect mine. We will be stronger together." Dr. Foster attached neural sensors to both Leo's and Kethvar's heads. The equipment would monitor their brain activity and try to create a bridge between their nervous systems. It was experimental technology that had never been used for anything like this. "Lie down and try to relax," Dr. Foster instructed. "Think about positive memories. Think about trust and friendship." Leo lay on a medical table while Kethvar lay on the floor beside him. The neural bridge equipment hummed to life, and both beings felt a strange tingling sensation in their heads. At first, nothing seemed to happen. Then Leo began to see flashes of images that were not his own memories. He saw alien worlds with purple skies and crystal cities. He saw battles between Zethkari warriors and terrible machine creatures that looked like metal spiders. Kethvar was experiencing Leo's memories too. He saw Earth's blue skies and green fields. He saw Leo's family, ranch and the horses that Leo had cared for as a child. The connection between their minds grew stronger. Leo could feel Kethvar's emotions, his sadness over losing his bonded partner, his fear of the devourers, and his hope that humans and Zethkari might work together. Kethvar felt Leo's determination to protect people, his loneliness in space, and his growing friendship with the alien warrior. But something was going wrong. Both of their vital signs were becoming dangerous. Leo's heart was beating too fast and Kethvar's body temperature was rising. "I need to stop the procedure," Dr. Foster said, reaching for the controls. "No," Leo said through gritted teeth. "We can do this. I can feel it working." Kethvar's voice came through the translator, but it sounded different now. "Leo's mind is strong. We must continue." The neural bridge equipment sparked and made warning sounds. Dr. Foster watched the readings with growing fear. Both Leo and Kethvar were pushing their bodies to the limit. Then something changed. The chaotic brain patterns on Dr. Foster's screens suddenly synchronized. Leo and Kethvar's minds found a rhythm together, like two musicians playing the same song. Leo opened his eyes, but he could see more than just the medical bay. He could see through Kethvar's compound eyes at the same time. The double vision was confusing at first, but then it felt natural. Kethvar sat up, and Leo could feel the alien's thoughts in his own mind. They were still separate people, but they were also connected in a way that neither had ever experienced before. "How do you feel?" Dr. Foster asked nervously. Leo and Kethvar looked at each other and smiled. When Leo spoke, his voice was different, stronger and more confident. "We feel complete." The bonding had worked. For the first time in galactic history, a human and an alien had formed a mental connection. Leo could access Kethvar's memories and knowledge of fighting the devourers. Kethvar could use Leo's human creativity and adaptability. But their success would be short-lived. Alarms began ringing throughout the ship. Admiral Wells had grown tired of waiting, and her ships were preparing to board the USS Horizon by force. "Captain, Martinez to medical bay," came the announcement over the speakers. "We have incoming devourer ships. This is not a drill." Leo and Kethvar stood up together, moving with perfect coordination. Through their shared connection, they could sense the approaching machine threat. The real test of their bond was about to begin. The bridge of the USS Horizon was filled with flashing red lights and urgent voices. Captain Martinez stared at the main screen, where a massive black ship was approaching from deep space. It looked nothing like the alien vessel they had found, Kethavar on. This ship was dark and angular, covered with weapons and strange sensors that glowed with evil light. "It's a Devourer scout ship," Lieutenant Ben Cooper reported from his station. "It's twice the size of our biggest warship, and it's moving fast." Admiral Wells appeared on the communication screen from her flagship. Her face was angry and worried at the same time. "Captain Martinez, what is the meaning of this communication blackout? And what is that ship approaching our position?" "Admiral, that's a Devourer vessel," Captain Martinez replied. "The alien we rescued warned us about them. They're machines that destroy all organic life." Admiral Wells looked skeptical. "I don't have time for alien stories. Transfer that creature to my ship immediately so we can deal with this threat properly." But it was too late for transfers. The Devourer ship had detected them and was already attacking. Bright energy beams shot out from the black vessel, striking Admiral Wells' flagship. The human ship's shields flared and began to weaken under the assault. "Their weapons are adapting to our shield frequency," came a panicked voice from the Admiral's ship. "Every shot they fire gets stronger." In the medical bay, Leo and Kethavar felt the ship shake from the enemy attack. Through their mental bond, they could sense each other's thoughts and emotions perfectly. Leo's human determination mixed with Kethavar's warrior instincts, creating something new and powerful. "We have to help," Leo said, but the words came from both their minds at the same time. They rushed to the bridge, moving together like dancers who had practiced for years. Captain Martinez turned when she saw them approach, and she noticed immediately that something had changed. Leo and Kethavar moved with perfect coordination, as if they were two parts of the same person. "Captain," Leo said, his voice carrying new confidence, "we need to get to Kethavar's fighter ship. It's still in the shuttle bay." "That ship is damaged," Commander Sullivan protested, "and neither of you knows how to fly it." Kethavar's compound, eyes focused on Sullivan. "The bond allows us to share knowledge. Leo knows human tactics, I know Zethkari technology. Together we can fly the ship and fight the Devourer." On the main screen, Admiral Wells's flagship was losing its battle with the enemy vessel. Two other Colonial Defense Force ships tried to help, but their weapons barely scratched the Devourer's hull. Worse, the machine ship was learning from each attack, adapting its defenses to become stronger. "It's studying our weapons," Dr. Foster observed from her science station. "Every time we hit it, it becomes more resistant to that type of attack." Captain Martinez made her decision quickly. "Leo, Kethavar, get to that fighter. Dr. Foster, help them understand how to interface our systems with their ship. Everyone else, give them cover fire when they launch." Leo and Kethavar ran through the corridors of the USS Horizon, their shared mind allowing them to anticipate each other's movements perfectly. Behind them, Dr. Foster followed with her portable computer, ready to help bridge the gap between human and Zethkari technology. The alien fighter ship sat in the shuttle bay, still bearing damage from the battle that had killed Kethavar's original crew. But through their bond, Leo could access Kethavar's memories of flying this type of vessel. At the same time, Kethavar could understand Leo's knowledge of human combat tactics. The controls respond to both physical touch and mental commands, Kethavar explained as they climbed into the strange cockpit. "With our bond, we can control it together better than any single pilot." Dr. Foster connected her computer to the fighter's systems. "I'm uploading our tactical data about the Devourer ship. Maybe your ship's weapons can find a weakness our sensors missed." The fighter's engines came to life with a sound like singing crystals. Leo sat in the pilot's seat while Kethavar operated the weapon systems. But through their mental connection, they were really acting as one being with two bodies. They launched from the USS Horizon, just as another energy beam from the Devourer ship struck Admiral Wells's flagship. The human vessel's shields finally failed and secondary explosions began tearing through its hull. "We're too late," Leo thought. But Kethavar's memories showed him something important. "No," Kethavar's thoughts replied. "Devourers have one weakness. They learn and adapt, but they cannot create truly new solutions. They can only improve on what they have seen before." Flying the Zethkari fighter felt natural to Leo, even though he had never seen anything like it before. The ship responded to their combined thoughts, moving in ways that seemed impossible. They dove toward the Devourer vessel, weaving between its energy beams with perfect timing. The enemy ship's weapons tracked them, but Leo and Kethvar were thinking together faster than any computer could calculate. They knew where the next shots would come from before the Devourer fired them. Human ships attack in straight lines, Kethvar observed through their link. Zethkari ships attack in spirals, but together, we can attack in patterns this machine has never seen. They began their assault on the Devourer ship using a fighting style that combined human aggression with Zethkari grace. Their weapons fired in sequences that confused the enemy's adaptive systems. Every time the machine ship tried to adjust its defenses, Leo and Kethvar would change their attack pattern. The bond between them allowed perfect coordination. When Leo banked left, Kethvar fired at exactly the right moment. When Kethvar identified a weak point in the enemy's armor, Leo was already moving to attack it. But the Devourer ship was still much larger and more powerful than their fighter. Its weapons were slowly adapting to their new tactics, and it would only be a matter of time before it learned to counter their attacks. We need to end this quickly, Leo realized. Yes, Kethvar agreed. One final attack using everything we know. They dove straight toward the Devourer ship's main weapon array, ignoring the energy beams that barely missed them. At the last second, they fired all their weapons at a single point, using a technique that combined human targeting computers with Zethkari instinctive shooting. The combined attack punched through the Devourer's adaptive shields and struck its central processing core. The machine ship shuddered and began to lose power. Its weapons stopped firing and its hull began to crack. "It's working," came Captain Martinez's voice over the radio. "The Devourer ship is shutting down." The enemy vessel drifted helplessly as its systems failed one by one. Finally, it exploded in a brilliant flash of light, leaving only debris floating in space. Leo and Kethvar flew their fighter back to the USS Horizon, both exhausted but victorious. They had proven that humans and Zethkari could work together to defeat the machine threat. Admiral Wells contacted Captain Martinez again, and this time her tone was very different. "Captain, I owe you an apology. What I just witnessed changes everything. That bonded pair destroyed a ship that was defeating my entire fleet." In the weeks that followed, Leo and Kethvar became the first ambassadors of a new alliance between humans and Zethkari. Their success convinced both species that they could work together against the Devourer invasion. Captain Martinez received a promotion instead of a court-martial, and the USS Horizon became the flagship of the new interspecies defense fleet. Dr. Foster began training other humans and Zethkari for the bonding process, though Leo and Kethvar remained the most successful bonded pair. The war against the Devourers was far from over, but now humanity had allies and new hope. Leo Barnes, a simple Marine from Texas, had shown that courage and friendship could bridge the gap between species and create something stronger than either could achieve alone. As they prepared for the long journey to Zethkari space to help plan the combined defense against the machine invasion, Leo and Kethvar knew their bond had started something that would change the galaxy forever. They had proven that understanding and cooperation could triumph over fear and hatred, giving both their species a fighting chance against the darkness that threatened all organic life.